So July 13th, 1990, I was arrested for drunk driving. They put me in handcuffs and threw me in a holding cell. Pitch black dark. It was cold. I was alone. I tried to sit on the bench. I couldn't because I was too drunk. I laid on the floor and passed out. I don't remember much after that. My only memory of the rest of that awful experience was leaving my body, looking down, and seeing someone who was in a whole lot of trouble. Pitiful, helpless, hopeless. The judge, the next morning, sentenced me to a 6-month recovery program. I went. I got sober. Not long after that, seemingly out of nowhere, the call to write songs entered my heart. Probably not coincidentally, I was working in a restaurant right next door to Berklee College of Music, and all my employees were either songwriters or singers or in some way affiliated with the university. So I was surrounded by music, and the call to song came to me, and I grabbed it like it was a life jacket, and I was drowning in an ocean. Turns out it was, and I was. I wrote songs about what got me into that jail cell and caused me to need to medicate myself to the point of oblivion. My songs were heavy, difficult, and some even say disturbing. I would go out and play them, and the audience would be split. It still is, actually. There were people in the room who would say, "Oh God, it's so heavy. It's so dark." They'd say the cliche, you all know it, "Break out the razor blades." I still get that. But there was this other group of people that would come up to me with tears in their eyes at the end of the night at the CD table. And their lips would be quivering, and they'd say, "Thank you. Thank you. That's my brother. That's my father. That's me." Those people gave me courage. They gave me hope. They kept me going. I stayed sober. And I decided to stay with the songs the way they came to me and ignore the razor blade jokes. I fancied myself a sort of lesbian Leonard Cohen. Why not? Nobody's done it yet, right? Fast forward 30 years. I've been writing songs for a long time. I've learned quite a bit about songs and songwriting. What I know for sure is that songs are a whole lot more than a commercial product manufactured for a multinational corporation to sell to the lowest common denominator. Songs, in fact, for me, were life-saving. They were spiritual medicine for a world gone wrong. If you cut your skin, the body has devices that automatically spring into action to help the wound. We've got coagulants and white blood cells, all sorts of things race to help the hurt. I think songs can do that for the human spirit, for the soul, for the heart. And that's how I approach my craft, and that's what I've done for 30-odd years. About 5 years ago, I was invited to work with a nonprofit called Songwriting with Soldiers. What they do is pair up professional songwriters with wounded veterans. And we go away to a retreat center for a weekend. And we listen, we bear witness, and turn what we're being told into songs. On Friday night, we gather at the retreat center. It's usually 4 songwriters, 6 to 10 wounded veterans. And on that Friday night, we're all a little nervous. We don't know each other. We're milling about. And the look on some of the veterans' faces is like, I cannot believe I've been reduced to kumbaya. They're there because their wives begged them to go. They're there because their therapist asked them to go. At this stage, since we're 5 years into the program, a lot of them are there because their buddies said, you got to go do that, don't ask why. I can't explain it, just go. We get through our nerves fairly quickly on Friday. We do a show, play some songs for them. They pretty much know who they want to write with, and on Saturday morning, we sit down and get to work. By Sunday night, we've got 12 songs, maybe 13 songs that didn't exist on Friday, all written in the veterans' words, and we play a concert of their songs. The best way to get you into one of these experiences is for me to introduce you to a young soldier named Joe. I met Joe about 4 years ago. Joe had been deployed to Fallujah when he was 19, and it was during the surge. What happened to Joe in Iraq damaged him. He was hurt. His wound, he described it as moral injury. It's when war pushes you past what your values allow, and it hurts your soul. When I sat with Joe, he was at a place that was I could only describe as dark. He had deep lines in his brow. His lips were set in a straight line. He was answering questions with single words, and he really struggled with eye contact. I asked him how he was doing, and that's when he told me, Mary, my soul hurts. I knew that to get a song with him, we'd have to get imagery, because a great song really is a little movie. And so I just asked him to describe what he saw when he went to Iraq. When he got off that plane, 19-year-old Joe, what did you see? I'm not a soldier. I've never been to war. I don't know what it looked like. I've never been to Iraq. Just give me some pictures. He said he saw orange smoke and yellow haze all over the horizon in front and behind him. He said at dusk, there were whistling sunset bombs that came in every night. And he said, I couldn't trust the sky. I'm writing down what he says. I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down. He said there were little kids in the street crying alone, no adults anywhere to be found. He said there were bombed out schools and bombed out homes. He said there were guys holding their weapons so tight that their knuckles were white. And there were other guys, the Catholic soldiers, with rosary beads, rolling them in their hands. And when he said that, I knew that could be the title of the song, Rifles and Rosary Beads. And so I asked him, what if we put this song together and call it Rifles and Rosary Beads? And he nodded. And I needed to find a melody to help move the story from his wounded heart and soul into this song, and the melody needed to match and marry what he was saying. And so I came up with just very, very simple. And as I played this, he started looking up more. We were starting to make eye contact now. And the melody was like a magnet pulling the story out of him. And he started to talk in fuller sentences, not just single word answers and single images. He started to tell me who he was. We reached a place in the story where what he was saying hurt so bad that I had to put the guitar down and cry. And that's cool. I'm not a therapist. I'm a songwriter, and my job is to listen and write the song. I don't have to worry about anything to do with emotion. If it's hard, I can cry. I let it out. And it made it possible, I think, for him to cry. He said, can I hug you? He was crying. I was crying. There was tears. It got nasty. There was ugly crying. And then when we sat down to finish the song after the emotion had passed, we were connected. We had built some trust there. And as we finished the last line of his song, I played the song in its entirety for him. And he was nodding, he was smiling. The lines, the deep lines in his forehead that made him look 50 years old. Joe was 24 when I met him. Were starting to soften. He started to look his age again. As the last note rang out, we high-fived. And for some reason, I don't know why, we just ran around the room and did the touchdown dance. We'd written one of those break out the razor blade songs, but it was doing something important. It had become spiritual medicine for a world gone wrong. This young man felt seen and heard, and the song was able to articulate what there weren't words for. Trauma goes deeper than words. Music can get in those places. We enjoyed the moment. That night, we had a little concert, which we do at the retreats, and I played his song for the group. All the joy that we had experienced in that room was wiped out of his face when he realized, mortified, that I'm going to play that song and his vulnerability is going to be on display for his veteran buddies, his Army buddies. Soldiers are trained, don't be vulnerable. Vulnerability will get you killed, and it'll get other people killed. Vulnerability is not something you can let into the scenario at war. With the song, if you're not vulnerable, you're writing garbage. You've got to be vulnerable to write a good song. And always, 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 there's a little bit of shame that leaks in to a wounded person's song. Because if you carry trauma, you carry shame. Trauma tells you that you were incapable of defending yourself in the moment that something horrible happened and you couldn't stop it. And as a result, you're broken. Joe's greatest fear when I started to play his song is that he was going to be rejected, that his buddies were going to say, you're not supposed to say those things. But as I started to play it, I've been doing this long enough to know what would happen. And I tried to look at him with love and help him to calm down, because I know what happens. The exact opposite of what the veteran is afraid of happens every time. It's the magic words. His song got finished and his buddy said, thank you. Me too, man. Me too. Instead of rejection, connection. It alchemized the shame. We're losing 22 soldiers a day right now to suicide. Trauma brings shame. Shame says, I'm not lovable. I'm broken. We've got to find ways to alchemize it. I believe songs written for the right reasons and the spirit of vulnerability can be a big tool in helping to alchemize that shame. In these retreats, several things happen that make them powerful. One of the important things that I wanted to just highlight is that the songwriter is sitting in the discomfort with the soldier. We don't try to placate them with platitudes and say, oh, it's going to be fine. We don't know if it's going to be fine. We don't interrupt with our own war stories. We don't have any. We just bear witness, mirror back what's being said, and then find the matching melody for the words and stories we're being told. They're witnessed in non-judgment. We don't assess, we don't diagnose, and most importantly, we don't judge, no matter what they say. We just want to get their song. Another important part of what happens, I think, is when that song gets played back and they are witnessed in their most vulnerable state. We talk about two types of courage. The type of courage it takes to put the uniform on and go to war, and then the type of courage it takes to get emotionally naked in front of a group of people risking rejection. That type of courage, I've seen special forces guys with sweat pouring down both of the sides of their face and their hands like this before their song gets played. It is scary. And I've witnessed their courage as their song got played. Being witnessed is a big, important part of what's happening. And I think the deal is that you go from being the story, and if you've been traumatized, you're convinced that you are the story and nothing more. When you are able to articulate it in art and song, you go from being the story to the storyteller. You're able to take a step back from the story and get a broader view. There's agency in being the storyteller. I mean, look at this room. The storytellers are on the stage. There's power there. The storyteller gets to write the ending. This is an important move in the right direction if you've been traumatized, so that you can start to articulate what happened by taking a step back, and then transform it by making something beautiful out of something horrible and offering it to the world as a gift to other people who are suffering. It takes the worst thing that happened to you in your life and makes it useful to someone out there who doesn't have the words for it. And the soldiers get that really quickly, like, oh God, if it helps one person, I'll do it. And they want to. They volunteered. This is a volunteer army. They want to be of service. So I need to give you a little bit of Joe's song. Rifles and rosary beads, you hold on to what you need. Vicodin, morphine dreams, rifles and rosary beads, yellow smoke, orange haze, blowing into my eyes, whistling sunset bombs. I couldn't trust the sky. There's a lot more to it, but I don't have time to play the whole thing. But when Joe's buddies heard that song, they hugged him. And Joe tells me that's the moment he started to experience hope again. Am I saying that song's gonna heal trauma, fix it? No, it's not that simple. But what the song is a rung on a ladder lowered into that hole. And if you're the one in the hole, that rung is a big damn deal. I define trauma as the experience of potential annihilation. Our veterans are the group that is most obviously suffering from trauma, PTSD, and traumatic brain injury. But 70% of the population at one time in their life is going to have a traumatic event. So this is a relevant conversation for almost all of us. Trauma is the experience of removal. It's being separated out and not being able to find your way home. We talk about wanting to help our veterans to come all the way home. Their bodies get here, but there's not a full presence because of the trauma. They don't feel a part of us. I think that songs can help bridge that gap, because songs create empathy. Songs bring us into the experience of another person that we understand, and maybe even more importantly, that we experience it. So, can songs save the world? Well, is that a 60s hippie dream left over from potheads that are now grandparents? I don't think so. Here's what I know. Songs can change the heart. They open the heart. In the right hand, this machine can do a lot of things. It's certainly been used as a money maker. It's been used as a tool of seduction. It's been used as an escapist tool, an anesthetic to turn everything off. But in the right hands, for the right reasons, this is an empathy machine. And songs can open the heart. If you get your heart opened, it can open the mind. You've experienced the emotions of another person, and stereotypes fall away. Prejudice can fall away. Misconceptions can fall away. If you open the mind, you're changing a person. Songs open the heart opens the mind changes the person. How else are you going to change the world? I think songs have the power to do this. Songs and songwriting are why I'm still here today. And I think if we were to just consider the Razor Blade songs, for the power contained in them, that they have the power to change the world. Thank you.